Yo, what's up, good people? This is your host, the Black AG, Mr. It Is What It Is, if you know what to know. Welcome to another episode with Downing Experience with Chami Muruke. And guess what today? I have one of the best guests, Bafetu Nazuguti Spuzinto Zimnandi Spuzinto Kalagahle. And I have Sister Mbali in studio, the owner of NgiyiMbali. But anyway, before I waste of any time, let's just welcome our guest in studio.
Hi, I am Mbali. I am a wine producer and founder of NgiyiMbali Wines and co-founder of an organization called Wine of Color SA.
Good day, Sister Mbali.
I'm well and yourself.
I'm doing well, thanks. I just want to give you one of the best, warm welcome I meant to say. I just want you to feel free, feel at home, so we can have one of the best shows for our viewers.
Of course.
So, can you just tell us more about Umbali? Where did you complete her matric, and after matric, what did she do in her career path, and where did she grow up?
Okay. I grew up in the south of Joburg. I'm born in Soweto.
Okay.
Both my parents are from Soweto,
Okay.
Netherlands to be exact. But I grew up mainly in the south of Joburg in a area called Enedale. Matriculated in Enedale.
Okay.
And my love for wine actually started when I was very young.
Okay.
I was 18 because I'm a late December baby, you
Okay.
know. So on my 18th birthday, 2 days after, which was the 29th, I said to my mom, can I have some wine? You know, because my second dad, I call him my second dad because
Okay.
I've got a biological dad and I got one that actually brought up when I was married to my mom.
Okay.
So I said he used to always bring wine, but he was not a wine drinker. So this
Okay.
wine would literally sit until someone that likes wine visits our house. So this one time, I'm like, listen, can I have some wine? And she's like, are you crazy? You can't have wine. And I'm like, technically I can, you know.
Okay.
I've just turned 18. And then he walked in, and as we were having that conversation, she's like, actually, she can. Would you prefer she goes and drinks it behind our back? Or would you prefer giving it to her? And then we know how she behaves when she's had some.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I tried to open. Actually, we didn't even have a corkscrew or anything at home.
Yeah.
I opened up it with a cooking stick, like, you know, and I opened it up. I had my first taste of wine. It was a Shiraz. I hated it. I was like, I don't understand what the fuss is about, you know. But since it was December, and every time I played around with different foods, the taste would change, you know. So I think the science student in me just was invoked. And I said to my mom, I actually want to do this. So I was like literally just over 18 when my love for wine started.
But I'm a bit concerned right now.
Yeah.
You knew how to open a wine with the cork opener, and you were a first-time drinker.
No. I didn't. We didn't even have one.
Okay.
I opened it with a
This is so
cooking
interesting.
stick. Yeah, with a stick. And then I went to the cookies. I'm like, clearly there's this something. I'm going to push it inside so that I can open up this bottle.
How did it go?
I opened it. I took a shoe, I took a cooking stick. And
For
I
a
just,
first-time drinker.
well, the first time I like,
With a stick. So
cooking
the
stick. Yeah, the cooking stick. That's how I opened up that's how I opened up my first bottle of wine.
Yeah, rough. No wonder you say you were raised in Soweto. You rough.
No. I've also, when I want something,
Wow.
I make a plan to get it. So no, it's not an option for me.
No, but like Uber rough, like who does open a wine in a stick, like a cooking stick?
You know, people still
Like-
do it. I'd seen like
Is it a-
guy, man.
Is it a wooden spoon?
It's a wooden spoon, yeah,
no.
like the wooden spoon.
Oh,
You put
no.
it there on top, get your shoe, and then you keep hitting it. That's how I open up, and it splashed on my clothes, and I'm like, okay, it's opened. Then I had my first sip, and I hated it.
So okay, how was the first sip? Was it bitter? Was it sweet?
It
Or-
was, I hated it. Like, I was like, what? Like, what is the fuss about this thing? I mean, it's all Shiraz,
Yeah.
you know? But, so nobody was really drinking it. My mom doesn't drink at all. My dad was not a wine drinker.
Okay.
But every time I had, like, we were braaiing with food, I would, you know,
Just
have a little bit of it. And
Okay.
the taste would change all the time. If I'm having it with fruit, it would change. And that just fascinated me.
actually now you were learning how to pair the wine with food
Yes.
and just find the great combination.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I was just, I'm trying to find a way to drink this thing
Okay.
and enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, then I just want to know, how, since you said after drinking the wine you felt inspired, right? But I just want to know, how did you start making the wine?
How
Just
did I
wanna
get
come-
making the
Yeah.
wine? So what I would do every time I made a bit of money, I mean, I was young, I would
Okay.
always just buy a different bottle of wine. I would just
Oh, wow, that's
taste
nice.
wine. That's like buy a little of different.
Okay.
For years I did this. And then in 2013, I tasted a bottle of wine that I just absolutely fell in love with. You know,
Okay.
I was like, this is the guy that's going to teach me how to make wine, you
Okay.
know? So I contacted the maker of the wine, asked him for a mentorship, you know, and he's like, obviously dismissed me, you know, and I kept calling, kept dismissing. So then I was in corporate.
Okay.
Um, when I was in the Cape, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to the farm. So I went to the farm, arrived there unannounced, uninvited, and I'm like, hey, it's Mbali that's been calling you, and I'm here for my mentorship. He's like, are you crazy? You're trespassing. I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, listen, let's have a glass of wine and talk about this thing.
Okay. You what I'd call a risk taker. So you flew from GP
Yeah.
to the Western Cape, just to meet the person who you want to mentor you, right?
I was, yeah. I
I,
was very fortunate because I was in corporate. You know, and I was a national sales and marketing manager then.
okay.
So I traveled a lot. So on a certain Friday, I was like, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and when I'm done, I'm going to that farm.
So, okay, if I may ask you a question, right?
Yes.
You got there, he told you that you trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what if he told you to go back home?
I was not gonna let him. Remember what I said a little bit earlier? No, it's not an option for me. So I was like, listen,
Wow.
relax. Let's have a glass of wine. I've been calling you. I've been calling you. Let's just talk about this. So we went inside the yard. We sat, got a patio, and you open up some wine. I'm like, let's have a
Okay.
glass of wine. A glass became a bottle. A bottle became two. His wife came back, and she's like, who's this woman? He's like, is that mad buddy that's been calling me? And that's how
Okay.
my mentorship started. And my first harvest was in 2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So, then how did you come up with the name NgiyiMbali Wines?
NgiyiMbali.
NgiyiMbali Wine.
I'm actually Mbali,
Yumbali,
you
yes,
know,
right.
and I wanted to, because and our slogan is it's personal,
Yes.
you know. So I wanted it to be personal to me, and that's why I was like, I am a flower at the end of the day. So I was like, Mbali Wines.
Oh, okay. So, if I may ask, so since we have different types of wines or varieties of wines,
Mm-hmm.
do you make the sparkling wines or non-sparkling wines, or do you do both?
At this moment, I do have an MCT that I'm busy with. It has not been released yet. I'm still busy with it,
Who's
but
on the
mostly,
champagne?
yeah, I'm still busy with it. You know, I wanted to be good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still cooking, still brewing. But mainly it's your reds, I've got your whites, and I've got a sweet rosé as well.
Sweet ones, the nice ones. But okay, if I may ask, since now you are in the wine industry, and obviously you have that one that's your favorite in particular, which wine is it? Like that one, you'll be like, when at this one, le wanginca yona, I will kick you. Yazin, akshaya. Oba ngiyithanda.
I think my favorite, because what I do with my wines,
Yeah.
it's like I give my wines a story. Like for example, my Shiraz is actually called Shoki Shiraz. It's not just a Shiraz, based on the story of the wine. When it came out, it tasted sweet but cheerful, and I was like, this is my mom. It's Shoki Shiraz. I've got one dedicated to my mom's tribe. I've got one called Hasinna. So in terms of whites, Hasinna is actually one of my favorites because
Okay.
when it came out, I gave it to 12 of my friends. I came back from the Cape and I'm like, 12 of my friends, I gave them the wine, and 10 of them called me that night. It's like, I'm going to show me. Why you feel like I speak to so? Let me up here. I'm like, Hasinna, it's you.
You're the one who's
You drank
consuming it,
it.
by the
So
way.
my Chardonnay
Yeah.
is called Hasinna. So in terms of white, I'm a Chardonnay girl through and through. And then in terms of red, I'm a Pinotage.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'm with you on that one.
yeah, and mine is called Dark Angel Pinotage, and there's a story to that as well.
Actually, I
know.
wanted to come through that because as I checked the wines, they have that African name
Mm-hmm.
or iDlozi name, something like that.
Yes, that's why you close the range. Yes.
Then okay, it has the actual flavor. Then how did this come about whereby you named the wine with its name in particular, like that authentic name, and
Yeah.
at the very same time putting the actual flavor so one
The
should know which one they're
wine
buying?
varietal.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like based on how they come out. It's like the story I just told you about Hasinna.
Yes.
It's not me, it's you. Shoki Shiraz, when it came out, it was cheerful. He had a bit cheeky. So I was like, this resembles my mom's character.
Okay.
You know, so it's Shoki Shiraz. Sebata, the Capsev is, it gave me a bit of a, and what does a lion do when it goes for it? It goes for your neck.
Yeah. True.
And we come from the lion tribe. So I'm calling it Sebata. So there's every single bottle of wine
Okay.
has a character based on what happened with it when it came out, when that particular harvest came out.
Yes.
And then iDlozi range, It's a very special range to me, actually.
Okay.
It's dedicated to women in my life. I'm actually adding white, so there's going to be my two uncles very shortly. But it's women in my life that's played a very, very significant role in my life that I have passed on, which is my granny, auntie from my dad's side,
Oh,
and
okay. That
then my
makes sense.
umamkhulu from my mom's side.
Okay.
So those are dedicated mainly to them, and also they're based on their characters. I mean, for example, my ages arranged Merlot. You know, Merlot, either you love a Merlot or you don't.
Okay.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
and my aunt was like that. That was her character.
Okay.
You know, so I named them based on characters and based on personal experiences.
So, I just want to find out this. The sector or the industry, it's mostly white dominating than black dominating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you are from, like, you are a girl from the hood, Ekas.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people who call it Ekas, understand?
Yes.
And you came up with something so innovative, something that abantu Ekas you couldn't think about to understand?
Yeah.
Then how was the feedback as you introduced NgiyiMbali Wines? Like, how were the people responding to it?
I'll be honest with you. I Even though I started making the wines, my first harvest was 2014, like I said.
Yes.
I kept the wines, and then when I launched them, I started taking them out was in 2017.
Ooh,
and in
well,
my
that's a while.
mind,
Okay.
I was thinking, NgiyiMbali Wines, everybody, our people are gonna resonate with the name and
Yes.
they're gonna love it. And that was not the case. You know, in my first year, 90% of my clients were white and 10% were black.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I remember we were doing decorex. I had a family, and I had positioned myself in a way that I'm the first wine brand that you're gonna see.
Yeah.
And then a black couple came, took glasses, and walked right past me and went to people that they know or they feel and they want to be seen drinking. And a white couple came, family of four, and the guy was like, "What does this mean?" And I told him. And he tasted the wines and he loved them. He's like, "Can I have 6 of each?"
Ooh,
And when
that's
these
nice.
our people are seeing this guy loving the
Loving
wines,
the wine taste.
they're like, they're the one to come and taste. And I'm like, we're still there as people, you know? So it's growing now. Our people are beginning to support me quite a lot more. I mean,
okay.
I think we're still at 60% non-black and 40% of our people.
Then, when we on the topic of supporting,
Yeah.
how did your friends play a role in supporting your friends and family, supporting your wine? Like, how was that?
My family definitely like they were there for me.
Okay.
They were not very happy. I mean, I left a very, very good job. I mean, I'm proud to say the first under 35 national sales manager for one of the biggest legal insurance companies in SA. I left that job. So
Okay.
there was reservations from my family side, you
Okay.
know. And then in terms of friends, there are those that have believed in the brand, have always supported me from the word go.
Yeah.
And there are those that never have actually. You know, it's been 10 years since my first bottle came out, and to date they still never have bought even a single bottle. But it's just who they are. So I think we shouldn't, as humans, we shouldn't expect our immediate people to be the ones that are gonna support us, because it's not always the case. Go out and market your brand to people that don't know. That don't know it.
Okay, so if you can tell us or tell our viewers also, how's the process of making a wine? How is it?
How's the process?
Yeah.
The process is okay. It starts from harvesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we go cleaning, and then we there's a process called pressing.
Okay.
And then pressing is where, and then what I can tell you, that's something that is very interested about wines. You know, wines get the red wines. Where do they get their color?
Yeah.
They get it from the skin, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the longer they stay in the skin gives it the color. But however, if you have a harvest, for example, and the harvest, your white grapes are not a lot, you can actually make white wine from the black grapes. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yes.
This is so interesting. How?
Yes. What you need to do is that just to make sure that there's minimum interaction of
Okay.
the grape, of the skin of the grape,
Of
and
grapes.
the actual insides of it. Because what's the color of inside the grapes? White and black. It's the same.
Okay.
So when you're doing that whole pressing process,
Yeah.
that is where you need to just make sure that there isn't interaction. Then you'll be able to make white wine from a red grape.
Okay. So then, since you have different varieties of wines, obviously,
Yes.
when you start, you won't start with everything like your Merlot or your Pinotage or your Sweet Rosé or you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was your first first harvest or your first flavor?
Yeah. My first flavors it's dependent on the farm,
Okay.
So the farm doesn't have all varietals,
Okay.
So my farm had a Shiraz.
The
It had
one
a
that you hated
Pinotage.
at first.
Yes, yes. Yeah, which I love now. My mom and my brain
Ooh,
actually named
yes,
after
yeah,
those now.
yeah.
Um, it had a Shiraz. It had a Cape grape. It had a Mourvedre. So that's what I started with. I had a Pinotage, I had a Shiraz, and I had a Cape blend, and then I had a Chardonnay.
Okay, then in those four,
Hmm.
okay, is it four or five? But which was the most selling wine? Because of, as far as I know, most people maybe they are so interested in Pinotage, or maybe it's because of the name that's well known. But which was the most selling flavor or selling wine?
Um, I have the Cape was actually quite popular,
Okay.
and it's different strokes for different folks, eh?
Yeah, true.
To
Yeah,
be honest,
yeah, yeah.
and that is why even when it comes to wine, I don't recommend. I never recommend wine to anyone.
Okay.
I have my personal favorites, but our palates are different.
Yeah, true.
So I can have an activation in Santon, and then the Pinotage is a hit. I can have one in Orlando, then the Merlot is a hit.
Okay.
So it's different strokes for different folks when it comes to wine. But the Pinotage is actually a very unique Pinotage,
Okay.
and it is actually quite popular.
Then, if I may ask, have you never got this Ugutio Mbali? Has Tina standard a wine is sweet? Because as far as I know, the
Yes.
Pinotage and the Shiraz, it's red dry wines, right?
Yes.
So I got to look to Mbali Tina, sweet is sweet, Lizia Bab
Yes.
and whatsoever.
Yes.
And how did you react
Dynamic.
on that? And how did you solve the issue?
Okay, yeah, you know what you must remember, I believe when you build a brand, you're not building a
Yeah.
brand for yourself.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
you
True.
need to understand and listen to what the consumer actually wants.
Yeah.
So at the first, I didn't have a suite,
Okay.
and then I realized, okay, no, you know what, I need to work towards creating one, and actually my sweet rosé is actually called Dakalo, meaning happiness in
Happiness.
Venda.
Okay. Mm.
And why I call it that, I believe that your sweet wine drinkers people are so happy. They're like so uncomplicated.
Mm.
I'm like, nah, I don't want this. I only prefer this. But your sweet wine people are just very happy people. And that's why it's actually called Dakalo Sweet Rosé. So I do have a sweet rosé. It's called Dakalo.
So once you're still on that, since you're saying Guti, sweet white drinkers or white wine
Sweet.
drinkers
Hmm?
are happy people.
Yeah.
I just want to know, since you know the mood, can you just tell us about the moods of the wine? This one and this one.
Yeah, no, it's I don't personally I really don't really drink sweet much unless if I'm creating a cocktail or something with
Oh,
it. I do not have I think personally it's because I do not have a sweet tooth. Like my palate is not,
okay.
I'm more of a sour tooth. Um but if I'm sitting at home and it's raining and I'm having like a very beautiful stew, I would have my pinotage. And if it's a hot day, I'll have my Sauvignon Blanc. I will have, if I'm doing a picnic,
Yeah.
and I know I want to spend my whole day doing this, let me have my Chenin Blanc. So it depends on your alcohol intake, how you react to
Yeah.
alcohol, and yeah, and what mood you actually in.
There's something so interesting that you have highlighted right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if the viewers can agree with me. Understand?
Yeah.
We know Uguti cocktail. It's
Yes.
made out of gin or vodka.
Yeah.
But the wine part, it's new to me, actually. It's way too new. Like, sweet, actually, a sweet wine, it does make a cocktail.
Yes. Like I do those a lot for my events. I do that a lot. I do that a lot.
Are you the first person to do it, or someone has
I
done it
think-
also before?
I think there are people that actually play around with it. I've never really
Yeah.
checked, but I do it quite a lot. Like where you mix a wine and you create a cocktail with it. Like and it's divine.
Seriously?
Yeah. If you come to our food and
My
wine show on the
goodness
6th and 7th of December of April next
Okay.
month, I'll make one for you. I'll mix you one.
Hey, guys, I'm not staying behind.
I'll mix you one.
Whoever's watching this, please, guys, we're not staying behind.
6th and 7th April at the Silverstar Casino, the annual Wine of Color SA Food and Wine Show.
And coming to this, people categorize this alcohol, different alcohol. Uguti beer, it's meant for this.
Yeah.
Vodka, it's meant for, it's meant for fun, like for
Yeah,
happiness.
yeah.
Then whiskey, it's meant for business. You know,
Yes.
your businessmen meeting,
Yes.
drinking whiskey and whatsoever. Then there's this thing about wine that I want to ask you as a wine brand owner.
Yeah.
Ugut, is it true that wine it's meant for intimacy?
It does. It to a certain extent, it does make you happy. And when you're happy,
Yes.
you wanna be with your person. You wanna be intimate. You wanna what? It. But for me, I think wine is for every occasion. Hey, there's a different wine for
All
every
right.
occasion. I think wine can be for everyone, and
Yeah.
wine can be for every occasion. That's my personal take.
Then there's this thing. It's a syndrome. It's a cause or actually everywhere. But more pussy wine. There's that level of mood that brings upon your body when you're with your partner. How true is that?
I think it's just your mood in J. Like if you're
You
drinking your
created.
wine and you create it.
Okay.
Because I mean, you can drink wine the whole day and not
Nothing
want
happens.
nothing happens. It's an if you're with your person or you're
Yeah.
just feeling all lovely and you're all happy. It's an individual thing, to be honest. It doesn't happen with everyone. No.
Because, as a guys, what's mama pussy wine? When you call a girl as a dude, it comes with wine or whatsoever. Isn't that is gonna happen? So I wanted like to know from you since we're in the wine. So I believe everyone has the answer right now.
Yeah.
Ukuthi umuntu, like they just create the mood out of it.
It's an individual feeling. There's people that would drink it and they would wanna be intimate. There's people that will drink it and will sit and cry and go through emotions. So it's
Yeah, I was about to come to
Yes,
that. Ukuthi
yes.
wine ngathi abantu like ngathi abantu abathanda drama, abantu aba emotional too much.
Yabo.
Like you see in movies where one is drinking wine, they're forever crying. And I'm like, does a wine make you to cry so much? Or maybe it just brings everything back. I don't know what's happening.
It's the mood where it's an individual thing. Like honestly, I drink it. I mean, I drink wine a lot.
Okay.
And depending on what the mood is with me when I started drinking it, it's gonna just enhance that. So if I'm in a very, very happy mood, I'm gonna be a very happy wind up Mbali, But if I'm in an emotional mood, I'm gonna process those feelings even more the more I'm drinking it. So it's the mood that I am in when I start drinking it. That's me.
Okay, so if you're in this particular mood, it means you have that kind of wine for that mood. Or you just drink one of your favorite every time.
I just yeah. There's like if I'm really feeling homey, there's ones that I prefer for like today,
Yes.
I'm gonna eat this and this is how I'm feeling and this is what I'm gonna drink. But other than that, I love my wines. My wines are good and I have them any other day, and there are other particular wines that I actually prefer. So I'm not fussy on mood and creating. Nah, I think it's overrated. It's just wine, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then coming to the alcohol percentage. People that love the high volume of alcohol. Have you got this? Your wine yashaya. Your wine iganje ganje. Like ganje.
Yes, I do get it. I do get it, and I mean it's, and I always say it's not that. I mean, the volume of alcohol is
Yeah.
regulated. You
Okay.
cannot have a wine at 17% alcohol or whatever. It has to be regulated. So it's just maybe you loved it so much and you drank a lot of it, and that's why shaile. But the alcohol percentage of wines is actually regulated.
Then what are the health benefits of drinking wine?
I wouldn't really want to say because I don't want to get myself in a situation whereby Dr. Matthew type of situation. But I mean, I think everyone has heard it. Oh, wine is actually quite a safe option. I mean, it's especially your dry wines.
Yes, yes.
They naturally made. We don't put the preservatives. There's no sugar. There's no what. People with low blood sometimes they are encouraged to drink it. So
Thank
wine.
you.
So wine
Yes.
is actually
Yes.
good.
Because I was about to come to that because there's that specific wine
Yeah.
whereby they say it's good for your health or it's good for your body. As you say, with people who have a low blood, they can drink what? They can drink it dry.
I've seen it being recommended. You know, I'm not saying they can or they should. I've seen it being
Be
recommended.
recommended.
Yes.
So is it the only one, or are there any other ones like your sweet rosé or your white wine
You
or
know what?
whatsoever?
It's mainly already actually your natural wines because you see
Yeah.
your sweet rosés, your sweet white, your sweet wines have been tempered with for it
Yeah.
to be sweet. Sweet the sucrose needs to be added.
Okay.
You understand? So your natural wines, your natural dry wines, those are the wines that I usually recommend to people.
So, by the level that you're at the current moment,
Yes.
understand? If I may ask, Sharp, you started your own wine brand and whatsoever. Were you attending workshops? First things, since you had a mentor, because you were fortunate by the time.
Yeah.
Were you attending workshops, or do you attend any workshops or in any forms for wines?
What I did is I have vast knowledge and it's farm knowledge based on my mentor because I would go and then I learned a lot. I know so much about actually the production of wine, but I didn't just leave it there. I've also done courses with Stellenbosch University to enhance they've got very, very, very good courses that they offer, short courses that they offer.
Yes.
To enhance your wine education. And what we're actually doing, you said earlier that you're actually in the wine space as well. You've got a brand that you're working on. Based on the experience that I had and my business partner and my now business partner as well, Janine, she owns a wine range called J9 Wines. She's based in the Cape.
Okay.
We met like in 2020 and realized that we've gone through so much in the industry,
yes,
you know, as Black women in wine. And that's when we came up with an organization called Wine of Color SA.
Yes.
And what Wine of Color is, it's an industry body, it's an incubation hub for people of color who want to get into the industry. You know, it's a space, it's like a safe space, like a little community where we create access to market, we try and create funding, we create wine education.
Yes.
And in November last year, we actually spoke to a certain organization, Wine SA and Wine Tech, and say, can you sponsor these guys, you know? And then we got them to go to Stellenbosch for a 3-day course of a 3-short course of winemaking. So wine education, professional winemaking is important, especially if you're building a brand, like where you're purchasing wine, you're relabeling, and you're taking it out there. People are gonna ask you questions. You need to know your wine, you know. So it's very, very important to enhance your skills.
Actually, you know, there's something that again you've mentioned. Le ayenzo no moban. Understand? It's only done by people who are extremely brave. I mean, like risk takers, living a good paying job, understand, for your company.
Yeah.
And why I say it's a risk, you might never know, Guti, how will the people react towards your brand, understand? Yeah. Will they love it, understand? Or are you going to make enough sales so that this money can last you for this type of month or this type of year, understand? How was that to you personally, living and be like, okay, now I'm handing over my resignation letter. I'm going to be my own boss. I'm working for myself. How was that?
It was a tough decision. I don't want to lie. But sometimes those decisions need to be taken. Yeah, you know, because what I've done is I'd cashed in the trust. I had a savings, educational trust that I'd cashed in to start the business. Oh, okay. And I had juiced up all my savings. And I'm like, okay, the next month is my pension, but I want to do this thing. And so, but it came to a point where I had grown very well in my career and I was happy, you know. But I lost someone very special, you know, who was actually meant to have been on pension, but was still working. And now his kids are going to have all the money in the world, but he's not going to be there. You know what I'm saying? And that was actually a defining matter for me. Like, I need to build something that's going to live beyond me being here. Okay. You know? I want to build a legacy for these boys. I mean, I've got 2 beautiful sons. I want to build a legacy for them. Yeah. You know, I want to be able to be present. I want to do what I actually really, really love. You know? So it's sometimes you just have to take the hard decisions and ensure that the support system that you're going to need when you take those decisions are aware of the decision that you're making. Yeah. You know? Because it was hard. I mean, there was a year, what I could make in a month for my previous job, I made a whole year. COVID times, like where I didn't make any money at all. So it's don't being an entrepreneur is you're not gonna always make money. The money that you think you're gonna make.
That's true. And
No.
especially coming to that, you are raising two boys, understand?
Yeah.
And obviously, there are some of the things whereby they important, actually essential for you to do for them, understand?
Yes.
So then, how did you cope with that? Or actually, not making enough sales at times, not having that kind of money that you wanted to have. How did that go about?
Well, not in my case. That's what I was saying. When you make such decisions, you need to look at your surrounding, your support system.
The support system,
You know,
yes.
they need to know that, listen, I'm doing this, I'm
Yeah.
taking this risk. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna always have money. You need to be there. Well, unfortunately, my husband is there. He was
Wow.
there to provide for the boys.
Wow.
My mom was there, like when it gets hard on my side, for like, "Ish, I don't want to bother this person. Can you help me out with this?" So you need to ensure that the people that you're gonna need help from know that you're gonna need help from them. You know, even your friends, your cousins, just know, like, okay, listen, I'm taking this. I'm gonna need you. Will you be able to be there for me when I need you?
But you know, some people can say yes for now because there's this excitement
Yeah.
that Uguti Umbali uzoba ne brand yakhe wine, understand?
Mm-hmm.
But now Messi corner and
Yes.
everything it's running properly.
Mm-hmm.
But those days whereby you've asked that question arrives and by be like, dude, I need you. I need the money. Were they present? Or how many people were present by that time now?
Well, you know, I think with me it was easier. Okay, I did lose a few, but the ones that actually mattered the most were there, and they still are. You know, I mean, it's a family-run business. When there's activations and we spread out too thin, my brothers chip in. My son is already just turned 18, so he is actually he works.
Wow,
My
okay.
cousins, sisters, my mom. There's times where my mom ran an activation.
Yes.
So it's you know, being a success in everything that you do, especially in entrepreneurship or in any way in life.
Yes.
You know, guard your surrounding. Be careful who you have around you.
Yeah, true.
You know,
True.
and who you spend effort and time on.
Yes.
Because if a person will not be there for you when you need them, then why do you have them in your life in the first place?
Okay.
You know.
Now that you have a son who's 18 and you started drinking at 18,
Yeah.
so would you allow him to have NgiyiMbali wine at that age now?
Hey, Downing Experience is sponsored by Dreamstream. If you'd like to support us directly and gain ad-free version of our episodes, click on the link below.
Actually, I've offered it to him a good couple of times.
What?
Yeah, no, I have definitely offered it to him. It's just my son is just not like me. Like it's just, I think his head is like, "Ah, it's dry, it's bitter. It's not really for me." He's had a glass of the Takalo rosé. He's really not much of a drinker. And then
Wow.
I mean, this boy has access to this. Like
Actually, it's like it's there in the
It's there.
house. You
he
can
does
have it any day,
activations,
anytime.
and then he's got leftover bottles. He'll take them and put them in the fridge or give them away. He's just, I guess, he's just not a drinker. But I mean, I would never hold it against him.
Yeah, true, true on that. So and it's just like those guys and be like, oh, me and alcohol, we're not friends, and won't be friends.
Yeah, maybe one day. I don't know.
So since you say he's doing activations, understand he's helping you, does he get paid?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes. If I expect him to act in a professional manner,
Yes.
I need to treat him like a professional.
Yeah,
I need
true.
to pay him
Yeah,
like
true.
a professional. Yes.
Because you know, there's this thing that parents do, especially in our community, whereby you working for me now. The very same man that we're making is gonna feed you, is gonna support you.
No.
Understand?
No.
So you don't go with that.
No.
So you believe Guti,
I
business
pay
is
him per
business,
day,
at
I
work
pay
it's
him
work.
per hour. I pay him like I
Wow.
pay everyone else.
It's nice because of it means now you know the relationship between you and him at home
Yes.
and you and him at work.
Yes.
So since he's doing the activations for you, does he have any interest? Because obviously, since you said you're doing this for both of them, actually it's a generational wealth.
Yeah.
Understand? Somehow they will take over.
Yes.
Understand? But is there any form or any signs of interest in the business?
No, there is.
There is.
There is, to be honest. He's just started at Wits. I'm really proud of him. He's a dentistry student at Wits. Like he's
Ooh,
studying.
congrats to
So I'm
him. That's
really,
so
really
nice.
proud of
Wow,
him,
yes.
However, he checks my schedule and he says, listen, when are the big ones? Like the one that's happening next month. It's actually
Yes.
one of my big ones.
Yes.
And he's availed himself. He's going to put his studying schedule together in a way that he's available to work on those particular days. Because so he understands that he will have his professional career, but this is
Yes.
actually something that he needs to be careful. And if he really didn't want to, I mean, I do have nephews, I would have, but he's really
Mentored them,
passionate.
yes.
He's really passionate about it.
You know what I love about him, but like from the way you're speaking about him, he's a responsible young man who can prioritize things.
Yeah,
Understand?
no, he does.
Because if he can handle his schoolwork, understand, and handle your work at the very same time, and just tell you good, hey, this and that, it means he's one of the responsible children who
No,
will
he
look
is, to be honest.
after the business.
Yeah, no, he is, to
Then
be honest.
what about the young one?
He's different. Like,
Yeah.
kids family diversity at its best.
Yeah, true.
But what I like is, because I instilled, and I think I'm able to do it because business was instilled in me at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
I grew up got a business home. My aunt ran a tavern and tuck shops. So I used to always work when I was around 10, 11. So
Okay.
my young one is like 12. And
Okay.
as we pack for an activation, the light things like the ice buckets, the what, you'll put it in the car and like, hey, how much am I getting paid for this?
Okay.
So he's 12.
He's even asking how much can I
Like,
get.
okay, there's the box. So he knows the light things like the ice buckets,
Yeah.
the glasses. He's the one that packs them away and he gets paid for it. And when we come back the next day, goes to the bakkie, goes to the caddy and takes the stuff out and packs them away again. It's his job.
So you sorted.
Teach them from a young age.
You sorted because now they, like, by the way you're saying every good thing about them, it means now they're showing interest in the business somehow. Like they're interested in the business, and as they grow, they will show even more interest to a point that they want to run the business.
Though there's definitely it shows interest, but it's also teaching responsibility to your child. Because
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we do wrong as young parents
Yeah.
is that we want to be our kids' friends. We overindulge them so much, and then they know no sense of responsibility.
Yeah, now they become too comfortable
Well,
to a point. Yeah,
and
exactly.
all they do is like they're just on TikTok. They do like no. You gotta teach them from home. Responsibility from home. So it's my way of teaching them. They might grow up and not want to run the business, but I would have taught them responsibility.
Wow. And now I want to ask this because we're talking about NgiyiMbali Wine. Understand? Someone might be at home watching this. Understand? And be like, okay, I'm so interested in this lady. I love the story and everything. Do you have your wines in retail store? And if yes, which retail stores?
Actually, I'm about to get into one retail store finally after so many years because there's
easy.
it's the red tapes and the trading terms that are deliberately meant to keep small brands out. They've always been there.
Okay.
However, with the Massmart Group Macro, we've come to an agreement where the trading terms and the payment plans actually make sense to me.
Okay.
And in the next few months, the wines are going to be at all macros nationwide.
What?
Yes.
Actually, this is one of the greatest milestone because, as you know, from upcoming brands, maybe it's your original or selected stores, maybe just Soweto and Gauteng, but yours it's national.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that?
I'm very excited about it. I was like, it's about time.
Okay, so then, since they'll be in retail, how are you delivering the wines now? Will people order from your WhatsApp? Or you had maybe an online store in Yana just to see the orders and everything?
Yeah, we've always, prior to COVID, to be honest, boutique wine stores, boutique hotels, and some restaurants.
Yes.
After COVID since 2021, 2022, I had to start my database. I lost about 70% of my database, so it was really rough. So we've been building it up. So yeah, I have wine clubs, people where they order, and then I deliver for them on a monthly basis. Yeah, we do shows where people can purchase the wines, but it's mainly, word of mouth and social media advertising. That's how I've been growing my database.
But if I may ask you right now, how is it that maybe you get different people, different areas,
Yes.
they want to order my wine and they need it? So uyenza kanjani kanjalo? Like how does it do with your productivity?
You order, you pay, and then we deliver.
So you pay first.
Yeah, no, you pay, and then you have to order a minimum of 6 bottles, for example,
Oh
because it
yes, I
doesn't
wanted to
make
ask
sense
that. Yeah, to
unless if you
other
like
one.
you close to me and you can say okay, Mbali, or you know, then there's no actual cost, and I do have wine at home, but you order a box and then we deliver it.
Yeah, because I was about to ask that with Umuntu and I said, I just need one bottle just to drink, then will you deliver such? Because it's costing, obviously.
Yeah, no,
It's costing too muchly.
no.
But wow, I'm just so happy. Just happy that now your wine is about to be national and not
Yeah, and then
regional.
in those 1 bottle per, they'll be able to just go to Macro
Yeah,
and go
just
and
go to
get it.
Macro and
Yeah.
just get yourself one bottle
Yes.
and just go home. Then
Yes.
the pricing. Let's talk about the pricing. Because there are people who will come to you and be like, yo, yeah, dur. Or yo, I prefer this mobile to less than this. How did you manage such critics? Because people come with too much critics. Like, let's just be honest. So some critics, they're very negative to a point. Now we like, you just feel so sad and be like, oh, okay, what's happening? So, but how did you handle that critics and how did you get over it from time to time?
You know, to be honest, I didn't have a lot of those. Most people would actually say like your wines are very well priced for the quality that they are,
Yes.
and there are those ones that will complain about everything. And I would just simply say, then you're not my target, but then they're not for you. You know,
Okay.
then buy what you can afford. You know, because clearly you can't with this one. So it was one of those. So it's like I mean I remember
Yeah.
we're doing an event. This guy bought wines that were 120, you
Okay.
know, and he bought 2 of those and then came to our store, and then the wines were going for 100 rand, okay, and then he said he had 150. He's like, I can't give him for 75 rand each a bottle, you know, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen. Either you're gonna buy 1 bottle or you're gonna go look for another 50 rand to buy 2, or not, because
Wow, I
what
love
makes you
this.
think you deserve a discount from me but you don't deserve it from there?
From the other side,
You know,
yes.
so yeah, respect your brand, and if they can't, then they're not the type of client.
Then people come again. Why I mean this case of critics, someone will be like, hey, okay, NgiyiMbali Wines, but I've never tasted it. How about you give me a taste before I buy it? How do you respond to that? Or have you ever done it? Or maybe you'd be like, hey, can I taste Pools and then buy it?
If I'm not at a tasting where it's an event, and I don't do that, do you go to Savannah and ask them to open up one? Like,
Or maybe go to
and
any
when
liquor store and be like, can you please open this for me? Let me taste before I buy
exactly.
it first.
And worst of all, you're talking about two people that have millions of budgets for marketing. When are
Yes.
you want from? Yeah, you know what? People who will support you, are people that want to support you.
Yeah,
I
true.
think that's what I
True.
always tell entrepreneurs in
True.
every way, in any way. Like, your clients will be your clients. You know, they'll buy a box of 6 without even tasting your bottles.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
They won't buy a bottle. They'll buy a box.
Don't settle for less.
No.
Don't settle for less. I love that attitude because in most entrepreneurs, they will settle for less for the sake of making sales, and at the very same time, it is affecting them.
It's
Understand?
undermining your business. So respect your business enough to say no to nonsense. You know, like, respect it enough.
Wow.
Just tell them, like, if you're not my client, you know, if you don't respect it, then you're not for me. You're not for NgiyiMbali.
It means you're not the target market.
No, you're not the target market. In
Just
fact,
go somewhere
I don't
else.
even think I want your money. If that's the kind of, if you think, oh, I have to beg for it, then don't give it to me. Don't even buy it. You know?
I love that attitude.
You have to have it, because the only way that people are going to respect it, there's a difference between respecting your brand and being arrogant. You're not going to be
Yes.
don't be arrogant.
Yeah,
but
true.
respect
True,
it.
true. Actually, you replying to them with a polite manner.
Yes.
Understand? Like I go to Delele and whatsoever, but it'd be like, dude,
No.
if you cannot afford this, try sometime. Understand?
Yeah, yes.
Not today,
But I'm not
now.
gonna lower my price
My
to
price
accommodate
because of you. Yeah, yes, true.
Because
true.
then I'm gonna kill myself, and you're very unfair to even assume that it's okay for you to ask me that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, since we're still in the retail part and the criticism part, you're going to macro. But obviously, you had that 1 or 2 store where you decide and be like, if my wine can be in this shelf, whoo, I'll be so happy. I'll be over the moon. Which stores are those?
I'm not gonna give them the benefit of knowing that. I won't do that to them. I will not.
Seriously?
I will not.
Why?
No. Because you see,
Yeah.
when I go there and ask them and start talking to the national buyers, they're gonna know that Mbali has been wanting to get in here anyway. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you wait to be approached, or when you go there with your cards.
Cards
Yeah.
well played,
Yes. No.
well said.
You don't tell people how much you want what they have, how much you want to get into their door. I don't do that.
So even a Klunya and be like,
Nothing.
no, like Mbali, like Mbali, like that one, like one clue.
There are a few, but I'm not even gonna.
No,
I know.
like-
I've been dealing with these people for years. You must remember that. I
Okay.
know how they operate. You know, I know how they operate.
So with maybe some of them they're like, no, I'm shutting the door in front of your face. I'm phone.
Yeah.
Also,
So
like,
now that some will come knocking. Some when I go, they'll be like, "Oh, okay, we have been waiting for you." You
and
see?
they're lying because of.
Yeah. But if they know that you need them,
Okay, just give me the number then. How many retails you wanted your wine to be at? Just give me a number.
Okay, there's three.
Three.
Yeah, there's three.
So since Macro approved you and everything's about to go well,
Yeah.
was Macro part of the three?
No.
Seriously?
No. Macro, I've always wanted to get into macro. And even
Okay.
the manner in which they came through and we started having conversations was positive from the word go, you know.
So they approached you?
Yeah, like we were doing
Oh my God.
So they were doing a Proudly SA
Yeah?
wine event.
Yes.
And they were there to look for a brands of color to have into their stores. And then I was just fortunate to be one of them.
You know, there's this saying of yours out there that when they shut one door, they're opening one great door for you, understand?
Mm-hmm.
Which is Macro is one of the greatest door upon your life from those that have been shuttered by people who didn't see any potential from it. So then they saw potential in you and be like, okay, how about we approach her and talk to her?
Yes.
And I believe that day you were over the moon.
Of course.
You're over the moon and be like, finally,
Yes.
isikhathi sokuthi I go and deliver to people is coming to an end.
Yeah.
It means if you want wine, you'll check
You
your
will be
nearest
able
Macro,
and you will be able to go
drive
and
there,
get it.
and just go and get your wine.
Yes.
Wow, this is so nice.
It
So
is.
from the three that you have,
Yeah.
do you still want to work with them since they've shut it on your face?
No. Actually, I haven't. You know, that's the funniest thing with me. I've never really approached the retailers, because I knew how they operate. So I've never really bothered with them.
Okay.
Because I've always known how they operate.
Yeah.
I didn't. I didn't. And people always like, why aren't you in retail yet? I'm like, I'm not. It's not why am I not in retail yet. I'm not in retail because I know their trading terms. I know their payment plans. They won't work for my business. I cannot have a wine that's sitting there. You're only gonna pay me once it's sold. You know, I hired someone to bottle it. I couriered it. I hired a bottle. It's sitting until it. So it doesn't work for a business like me.
Because you're running on a loss. Understand?
Yes. You understand? By the time it's sold, I would have paid the person I hired to bottle that wine.
Yeah.
I would have. So yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Wow. Wow. Like, I'm really impressed. Oh, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed, honestly, because you are one woman who have standards. You don't approach; they approach you. Understand? And which is now you putting your business up there or telling them, "Good, you know what? I know what my company worth, or I know what I worth." Understand? Which is it's one of the greatest thing. Understand? Because most of the young entrepreneurs they don't know about the trade marks of the companies or how the retail rocks. Understand? They just want to approach for the sake of their brands being there, but not understanding the terms and conditions. Understand?
Yes.
But obviously, there's somebody out there who's watching right now. Understand? Who has maybe their wine brand, their vodka brand, or whatsoever. What advice or what can you just tell them to do without making any harsh decisions for the sake of my brand is in retail store?
The first thing, if you're in a wine industry and you're a person of color, I would really recommend that you get in touch with us at Wine of Color SA. and then interact with, and be part of the community, because there's a lot of initiatives that we put in place to make things easy for our people. I mean, we understand that we've got over 360 years to catch up on as people of color in the wine industry.
Okay, yeah.
So we don't see our own as competition, but we see it as, listen, how can we help you? How can we support you? How can we work together?
Okay.
So that's the first thing that I would say.
Then, okay. How is, since we know South Africa is the country that produces wine mostly, understand, which is in your Western Cape, right? So wine mostly comes in South Africa, and the other country is France, if not mistaken.
Yeah.
Then, how has the competition been for you or for your company?
I mean, like internationally.
No, like
Like
just say
in terms
locally.
of-
Yeah, locally.
You know, I focus on the uniqueness of my wine, of my brand, and I just put it out there, and it gets loved by the people that are able to resonate with it.
Okay.
It's like what I was saying. Even when I see a person of color in the industry, I mean, we've got 360 years to catch up on. So I really try not to focus on competing with anyone. My energies go against growing it as much as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to ask that, what should we expect from you? Maybe events or whatsoever, but right now you've mentioned an event that's coming next month, which is one of your biggest events.
Yes.
Tell us, what is
Wine of Color?
What is it about?
The Wine of Color Food and Wine Show, it's an annual event.
Yes.
Actually, this is our third. And it's about showcasing brands of color.
Okay.
So all the winemakers, wine producers, or wine brands that are going to be there are made by people of color. We work with different chefs that showcase their food as well. So it's a food, wine, and lifestyle event that is about brands of color. So it's actually at the Silverstar Casino on the 6th and 7th of April.
Oh, Silverstar Casino in Krugersdorp.
Yes.
So what's the attire? People have to know.
Oh yeah, you gotta look good. Like it's nothing formal. Just your casual, look pretty, look good, look handsome. Yeah, it's like a very smart, casual type of vibe.
Then someone who wants to start a wine company right now, what advice or word of motivation you can give them, or what are the steps or procedures they should follow?
There's no formula to it. People want to do it differently. The most important thing is to form a relationship with a farm, but there's actually a very different one. Okay. A lot of people buy from agents and then relabel and then distribute them.
Yes.
So yeah, if you wanna, there's different ways of going about it.
Okay.
And that's why I say Janine and I are there. One of Color SA is there to hold your hand and help you in the industry.
Wow. At least somebody who's watching right now, you got someone who can help you, someone who can mentor you, someone who can guide you so that you may not do any mistakes in the wine industry or in owning a wine company.
We don't want them to make the mistakes that we did. That's the whole idea. Yeah.
Wow. Then before we just wrap up everything, how much is the wine going for?
They're going for 120 rand.
Reasonable. So anyone who's going to complain about that, surely the
and if you buy 6 and we deliver, then it's 100 rand. But per bottle, that's what it's going to retail at Micro. It's going to be at 120 rand.
Oh God, imagine having that taste of NgiyiMbali wine, like that South African wine. Yeah. It's so nice. And before now, we just wrap up everything. There's this thing that I wanna, like I always say personally, and I would think I tell you one because this thing good. There are some wines, they're not wines.
Okay.
I don't want to get in trouble, understand?
Okay.
If I ever say good, that's not a wine. It's just water diluted with some poison, honestly. Like, someone will come to you and say, I'm a wine lover. I'm a wine drinker. I love wine. But when you ask them about wine, they tell about that kind of brand or that kind of brands, I can say.
Yeah.
What do you say about it?
No, it is wine. It's just, it's been sweetened or it's been processed to a certain... I mean, I'm about to actually do a box. I'm not going to say much about it. I'm about to launch a box, a very unique box. I cannot divulge a lot of information about it, though, right now.
Okay, but
when I'm about to launch, I will come back and tell you about it. Before the end of the year. But it is wine. It's just, it's sweetened and it's been processed Oh,
NgiyiMbali Wines is
yes.
about to do flames. When you
Yeah,
come with the box,
yeah,
it
we're
means
about to do a box, yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And how's that? Like, obviously, you so happy about it. You're so
I am very excited about it. Like when we launch, I am definitely coming back to tell you guys about it.
How many liters?
It's a 5.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding me right now.
No, not joke.
It's a 5 liter.
Yeah, no, I yeah. It's a 5 liter. It's a unique one. It's a very good wine. But I'll come and tell you guys about it.
Wow. Wow. So now, before we just wrap up everything, where can they get Mbali Wines? I mean, NgiyiMbali Wines, I mean to say.
Okay, well, they can reach us out. They can reach us out. They can find out on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can just DM us at NgiyiMbali Wines, or you can send us to our business WhatsApp number, which is 084-962-5503.
Okay, that was Mbali, the owner of NgiyiMbali Wines, here on Dining Experience with a Chami Miroki. But today I'm not Chami, I'm the boy, the black AG. Mr. It is what it is, if you know where to know, with the cherry on top of a cream, man. I hope you all guys enjoyed the show, and I hope you all guys will support Mbali on NgiyiMbali Wines, and I hope you all guys will enjoy the wines. But guys, do me this favor. Don't hesitate to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your loved ones. Maybe you might get something so nice in return. As I am your host, the Black AG, Mr. It is what it is, if you know where to know. You can follow me on all social platforms and you'll get something great, something nice, something spontaneous if you subscribe, like, and share. And I'll see you next time. Gardanko is thank you. Goodbye.